Good morning, everyone. I'm Ravindi, and I'm going to talk about the difference between the user experience and user interfaces. So, in the world of design, there are few well-known debates that are never quite settled. So, one of the big ones is the difference between user interface and user design. So, an easy way to explain this difference between user interfaces and UX is with this real-life example. Imagine you are designing a house. UX would be the foundation, while UI would be the paint and furniture. So the question is, why did I say it like that? The foundation comes first, as we all know, establishing how each room connects and relates to the next, choosing functional locations for the doors, finding the most practical place to build the stairs, and etc. etc. Once the foundation is in the place, you can start thinking about the interior design, hanging pictures in attractive ways, picking a style of furniture that suits the color of wallpaper, organizing the kitchen utensils so they are easy to reach without making the room look messy. So this examples gives you a rough analogy of how design responsibilities are split between UX designers and UI designers working on a product. First, the logical flow of actions and fundamental parts are put in place, then the visual details are defined. It also gives you a sense of how the collaboration works with UX designers handing their work and recommendation over to the UI designers once core concepts are tried and tested. So what is the UI design? UI design is about using typography, images, and other visual design elements to turn a basic interface into something digestible and usable. UI design is the process of transforming wireframes into a polished graphical user interfaces. This both enhances the product usability and creates an emotional connection between the end user and a product. Then what is the UX design? UX design about understanding the overall journey of users and turning it into a product. UX refers to the entire experience someone has with your product from start to finish. It attempts to answer the question, how can I help people achieve their end goals in the simplest, most frictionless way possible? In other words, UX design is connected with the overall user friendliness of an entire customer journey. What does the UI designer basically do and what are their responsibilities? UI designer's job begins where a UX designer's job ends, at the prototyping stage. They take the wireframes and add visual design to make them more usable, aesthetically pleasing, and optimized for different screen sizes. So now let's take a closer look at typical tasks or responsibilities of a UI designer. There are responsibilities we can categorize mainly as in the look and feel of the product and the responsiveness and interactivity. Look and feel of the product includes design research, visual design, branding and graphic development, and design systems. Design research includes information about users and competitors and gives an insights into the latest design trends. While visual design includes designing the product layout and all the visual elements of the user interface, including colors, fonts, icons, buttons, and everything else. Branding and graphic development is closely informed by the brand positioning of the product overall, and the right balance between usability and consistency showcasing the brand identity and established with the marketing and creative perspectives. The last part of the look and feel of the product is the design system, and it ensures product and brand consistency where we create a style guides, pattern libraries, and components that detail how each element should look. Then responsiveness and interactivity. This includes responsive design and interactivity and animation. Responsive design means interfaces needs to adjust smoothly to all devices, all platforms, and screen sizes in terms of both form and function. Interactivity and animation navigation includes such as animations, transitions from one screen to another screen, or how pop-up will come up, things like that. Basically, interactive elements to design the interactivity of the user interface. Then, if we simply state what UI designer focuses, on what UI designers focuses, a UI designer focuses on how the colors, typography, and images of a design connect to the brand of the product. Simple as that. But UX designers do. The role of a user experience designer is to understand the customer journey. That means understanding the target audience, interviewing customers, defining user flows, and conducting user testing. So let's take a look at their responsibilities and the role of the UX designer. They basically do research and strategy with wireframing and prototyping. Research and strategy includes planning, user research, information architecture. Planning is the beginning of the UX design process. As UX designers, we create a strategic plan that ensures stakeholders are aligned and working towards a common goal. Then we go for a user research part, where we often think of design as something visual, while we are mostly conceptual, problem solving based on research data. Then it comes to information architecture. It focuses on organizing and labeling the content of a website, application, or a product. The goal is to help users find information and accomplish their end goals. When it comes to wireframing and prototyping, creating the user flow involves speaking to users to pinpoint their needs, then devising the best user flow that will help them complete their task. This conceptual focuses on the user journey means that as a UX designer, we influence on how a final product actually looks is limited. Then it comes to wireframes. Wireframe is like a skeleton of an interface, the bare minimum needed to understand how a design will look on a functional level. It can be produced digitally or even a drawing on a paper. Then it comes to the testing. We are testing our designs with real users, as it can be includes A/B testing or whatever the testing methods we can use to identify whether we did our job right or not. It can be used with a roughly prototype version or even just a paper mockup. That doesn't matter. We gather data from users to validate their ideas and assumptions. Then the final part is analysis. As UX designers, we work closely with product managers and researchers to analyze the test results and define the next steps of the product design. So why is this UI and UX is important? This is why the combination of user experience and user interfaces shapes your entire experience of a product. While two comparable products might get you the same end results, their user experience and user interfaces reflects how they provide it. If one of the products has better user experience and user interfaces design than the other one, people are going to use it more because they prefer the overall experience. As you can see, UI layer includes visual design, wireframing and prototypes, responsive designs, brand guidelines, animation, and interaction designs, where we see the product as it is. While user experience includes user research, wireframes and prototyping, user testing, information architecture, things like that. As users, we never see those. So, how do UX design and UI design work together? That is the real question we have. Beside all the differences, user experience and user interfaces are not entirely separate entities. On the contrary, both elements are crucial and work closely together to determine how a product will look and function, with each one influencing each other. Imagine you spend weeks creating a beautiful site only to realize that people can't find what they are looking for and struggles to navigate. No matter how attractive that interface is, without user experience, users will become frustrated and leave your site. No questions at all about that. that. On the other hand, imagine you conduct user research and testing to ensure an optimal user experience, but the text on your site is too light that people can hardly read it. Even with good user experience, users might be discouraged from using your product if the user interface isn't pleasing or accessible. Simply put, there is no UX without user interfaces and vice versa. Therefore, when it comes to creating a user-centric product, you will need both aspects to ensure users can interact with your product with ease and pleasure. So as a final note, if you're a designer in this field, don't get too hung upon terms and terminology. What matters is understanding the customer journey and designing with your users in mind. Always remember when it comes to user interfaces and user experiences. So that is the difference between user experience and user interfaces. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.